Thanks for joining us. Right now, we're taking a live look at Capitol Hill, where Republican members of the House are divided. Right now, we do not know if a third vote for House Speaker will take place today or not. Representative Jim Jordan could announce that he isn't going to call for a third vote in his bid to become Speaker. Instead, some lawmakers are planning a vote to extend the current Speaker pro tempore Patrick McHenry's power until January. On the other hand, some GOP members want to elect a full House Speaker as soon as possible. Leading Democrats say they'd like to work with McHenry. Tonight, President Biden is expected to address the country following his wartime trip to Israel. Until then, we're continuing to follow the fallout from a devastating explosion at a Gaza hospital and how millions of dollars in humanitarian aid will be distributed to both sides of the war. NBC's Jay Gray is in Tel Aviv right now with what's happening.
Well, hey there. It was a short visit, but made an impact. You can see in the headlines here what this says is Biden dictates rules of the game. And specifically, that has to do with humanitarian aid. The White House said that that was a big part of his mission during his short trip. And just as he left, Israel and Egypt announcing that they will allow humanitarian aid to cross the border at Rafah, the Gaza-Egypt border. It didn't start today, but they expect it could tomorrow. Right now, repairing some of the roadways that were damaged by Israeli airstrikes during this war. And then the trucks will begin to roll. 20 semis will be a part of this first delivery of food, water, and medicine. Something is desperately needed for 2 million or more caught in the crossfire, the civilians in Gaza right now with nowhere to go. They continue to stack at that border as well. Foreign nationals. The Secretary of State says there are as many as 600 American foreign nationals in Gaza right now, and they continue to find a diplomatic way to get some of those people going the other way across that border. All of this while at the border with Lebanon, the fighting is intensifying. There's a big concern that this could spread and eventually become another front in this war. We know today that anti-tank missiles were launched by Hezbollah fighters along that border into a kibbutz near the security fence there, and the IDF retaliating with artillery fire. And this is something that's been escalating over the last several days, with Israel moving more equipment, more troops into that region. So that's something that is being watched very closely as protests, thousands, have been spilling into the streets. Clearly, the frustration here, the tension is ramping up, and it's a very big concern, again, that this could spread across the region. That's the very latest right now here in Tel Aviv. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Just hours ago, we learned actor Burt Young, who played Paulie in the Rocky movie franchise, has died. Young's daughter told the New York Times he died on October 8th, but she didn't say how. Young's also known for his work in Once Upon a Time in America and The Sopranos. Burt Young was 83 years old. An update now to another story we've been following. About 12 hours ago, the daughter of Mary Lou Retton said the former Olympian had a scary setback in her battle against a rare pneumonia. She didn't say exactly what happened, but we do know Retton is still in the ICU. Well, right now, we're taking a live look at St. Paul, where temperatures are pretty comfortable. We can expect more chances for a little sunshine as the day goes on. John's outside right now with the start of MEA weekend.
Yes,
a lot of kids want to see this, John.
I know, it's good weather to get everybody out. As my mom would say, blow the stink off you before winter time. Get outside and enjoy. So we have temperatures that are actually pretty warm. It's 53 degrees right now, and that is allowing for it to feel pretty nice. We are picking up a shower. It is a very light week one. It will just pass by, and then the sun will break out. It's that confusing time of the year. 56 in Crystal, that's the warm spot around the Twin Cities. 55 in St. Cloud. Going to the north, it's warm. It's pretty mild. I mean, talking about starting off with cloud cover, this is a day that'll end up probably above average for this time of the year, which is the middle 50s. There are those sprinkles that move through. Those are going down to Rochester and out into Wisconsin, and you can already see the clearing from this first system out west. So we will clear out tonight, get close to around 60. A nice night tonight. Good way to kick off MEA, and I am going to have a couple of great MEA days coming up here in a bit. All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, John. Well, it will be a busy travel week with kids out of school. And Megan Reistad spent the morning at the airport to give us a look at some lines and some suggestions for getting out of town this MEA weekend without issue.
Wait times throughout the morning have really varied between about 10 to 20 minutes at both north and south security checkpoints. And MSP staff are anticipating about a 12% bump in the number of flights throughout the weekend, with about 49,000 people expected to come through the doors today alone. They are anticipating that this could be a record-breaking weekend for MEA. So if you're headed here today, you're going to want to get here 2 hours ahead of a domestic flight and 3 hours ahead if you're taking a flight out of the country. If you want to save yourself some time, you can actually make a reservation for the security line. We've got a link for that on our website. Now, as we've said, be prepared for crowds, as MSP anticipates this being the busiest MEA travel week in years.
Treat this as your holiday, get here early, plan accordingly. When you come into Terminal 1, look at both wait time boards, see which is shorter, because either one gets to all gates.
Parking will also be in high demand this weekend, and we do have a link on our website for you to pre-book your parking ahead of time for a discount as well, if you're interested. At the airport, Megan Reisted, KARE 11 News.
And here's a look at some gas prices if you're planning to hit the road this weekend. Just after midnight, AAA released these new numbers for Minnesota, showing prices are still slightly below the national average at about $3.44 per gallon. Even more specifically, here in Hennepin County, we're just a few cents more than the state average.
Welcome, Commissioner Barnett.
With a 12-1 vote just moments ago, Minneapolis has now confirmed a new public safety commissioner. Hennepin County Chief Judge Todrick Barnett will take up the position starting Monday after being nominated by Mayor Frey. He tells us he plans to focus on community collaboration while overseeing 5 safety departments, including fire and police. Council member Robin Wansley was the only one to vote against his confirmation. Today we know more about why police were attempting to search a home in Benton County last week, resulting in 5 officers being shot. New court documents show they believe meth was being sold there. Police say they made previous undercover drug buys at the home and found drug residue when they tested trash from the house. 64-year-old Carl Holmberg is now charged with multiple counts of attempted murder for allegedly shooting the officers. His first court appearance is set for Tuesday. The BCA says 3 officers fired their weapons at the scene. Right now, all are on standard administrative leave. New at noon, Cottage Grove police say someone has confessed to dumping the bodies of 8 dogs along the Mississippi River. They say investigators with the Animal Humane Society and their department served a search warrant at a home on Tuesday. That's where they found one suspect, but they say they don't believe that person is also responsible for the deaths of the dogs. Police say they're still waiting for results to find out how they died. Just before 7 this morning, we learned more about this crash near Albertville. The Minnesota State Patrol says a semi went off the road into a ditch last night on I-94. The driver then told police another vehicle hit him and drove off. That incident still under investigation.